What's up, Eagles Nation? Good Lord. Look at where we have found ourselves. Over the last 6 weeks of the season, the Birds have been chasing this number one seed, and it's fallen right into our hands. We got the Washington Commanders coming to Lincoln Financial Field for NFC Championship title match. It doesn't get much better than that. The last time that, Philadelphia was treated to an NFC Conference Championship game was 2017, I should say. And the Birds went on to win Super Bowl 52. No matter what anybody says, I got the vibes. I get the feeling. Got an inkling that the Birds are going to get their second championship here. Feel confident about this team. There's a lot of people who, you got your doubters, media and fans. The sky is falling. Then you got, the ifs, the if crowd. Well, if, they could stop Saquon, then Jalen Hurts. Well, what I say to that is, show me a game this year where they took Saquon away and made Jalen win the game with his arm. The one game they decided to come out and show you that they could throw the ball against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Jalen threw for, I think, 278, maybe 290 yards and 2 touchdown passes. So it's pretty evident they can do it when they need to do it. But why put the ball in harm's way by throwing it when you can run it down everybody's throat like the Eagles have been doing? Simply amazing. Saquon Barkley over, I think it's 500 and almost 50 yards in 2 games against the 560 to be exact. 460, I should say. Against the Rams in 2 games during this season. They say it's hard to beat a team twice in one season. The Philadelphia Eagles did it last week. And here we go. We got the Commanders coming to town. We split with them. It's going to be real interesting because this young quarterback is playing pretty damn good. Before we get to that, in the second half hour of the show, I should say, we got the beloved Axeman coming on. Jeremiah Trotter is going to join us in the second half hour of the show, senior that is, to kind of talk about. We're going to talk about his son a little bit. We're going to talk about his experience during this time of the year. He's been to quite a few NFC Championship games. The expectation and the fun, the excitement around this football team in this city when our team is in this position, and just what he thinks about where this team is and what their chances are. Before we go too far, I just I want to make sure that we touch on last week's game, the importance of it all. I think the biggest thing on everybody's mind right now is, Jalen Hurts' knee. You guys heard me say after the Week 16 game against Washington, when Jalen went out of that game with the concussion, the dynamics of that game changed. And some of you guys have probably heard me bragging on the Eagles this week. I had somebody on Twitter, told me that I was writing a check my ass couldn't cash. Somebody else saw the clip, from WIP when I said there's not a snowball's chance in hell they come up in the link and win this game on Sunday. And somebody even posted to a couple of players on the Commanders team and said, hey, put this up on the bulletin board. And I tweeted back, I'm like, are y'all serious right now? I'm not going to play a damn down come Sunday. And if you got to take the words of a former player that's 20 plus years retired, him bragging on his team to win and put that up on your damn billboard, y'all got more problems than, what's waiting y'all in Philadelphia if you got to do that, to use that for motivation. I just found that very comical. But I do feel that way. I had to check another dude. I pretty much told him, I was like, hey, I stand with both feet on what I say. And if I'm wrong, it ain't like I'm a hide. You know where to find me. Come see me. Come see me and let's talk about it. We'll debate it after that point. But you know what? This is the cowardice type of stuff that bothers me, that no one has the confidence to step out and say what they feel and how they feel about their team, because they're so afraid of getting slaughtered on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook for something that they may say in confidence. I was confident about the Rams game last week, and I said so. I'm going to be confidently talk about, this Eagles team, because this is why. This is why I feel this way. We've been bitching and moaning all season long about Jalen can't do this and Jalen can't do that. And what if Jalen. Shut the hell up, okay? Shut up already. What has Jalen and this team proven to you over 19 games thus far? They have proven to you that they can run the ball when they want to. That's what the offensive line can do. They're proven to you that when they need to throw the ball, that Jalen can make plays down the field throwing the ball. And oh, by the way, he can get out of the pocket and make things happen with his legs. And oh, by the way, he's got the number one ranked defense that's backing him up. Now, a lot of people try to minimize what he does and who he is because of that, but that's not his fault. Don't fault Jalen because he's got a great defense and the majority of the teams in the NFL these quarterbacks got defenses that's just god awful. That's not his fault. The other thing is, all season long, they've shown you the same mode for winning. Ever since they came back off the bye in week 6, when they made a decision that they were going to ride Saquon, okay? They've dominated the line of scrimmage. They've thrown the ball when they needed to. The defense has dominated the way it needed to. And when the game was on the line and when plays needed to be made on both sides of the ball, they did so. They got it done. They answered the bell. They came up with the winning solution. The coaching staff was able to make adjustments along the way to put them in the best position to win football games. So why am I going to sit here and doubt that Jalen Hurts and this football team can't beat the Commanders in the rubber match of the season? I get it. The young kid is playing fantastic. Okay? But let me give you guys a couple of things to chew on as far as, their success. And I don't want to take anything from him because, he's going to be the offensive rookie of the year. Phenomenal talent. That team and that organization, that kid is on the uptick. They're going to be the preeminent competitors for the Eagles in the division, probably for the next 5 to 10 years. There's no doubt about that. But think about this. Yeah, they won 5 in a row, I believe it is. But let's go back to week 16. Before Jalen Hurts got injured, the Eagles were up 7-0. They drove down the field and was in position to go up 14-0 when Jalen got concussed. Kenny Pickett comes in, goes 3 for 3, boom, the Eagles are up 14-0. In the first half, Saquon rushed for 123 yards. So it's not outside of the realm that the Eagles had pretty much had that game under control. Okay? Jalen goes out. They crowd the line because they know that Kenny Pickett's not going to run read option or RPO, so they're not worried about him pulling the ball. So they got defensive ends and safeties crashing off the edge. Saquon Barkley rushed for 47 yards in the second half. I think he averaged something like 1.7 yards per carry in the second half. That's not Saquon Barkley. That's why I've been telling y'all all along, the reason why Saquon is so, a part of the reason I should say, I'm not going to take all the credit from him because you don't rush for 2,005 yards, if you ain't that guy, if you ain't that dude, okay? But part of the reason for his success is the fact that Jalen Hurts, when he puts that ball in there on the read option or the RPO, the defense has to honor the fact that Jalen could pull the ball out. So that might take one or two guys away from the defense. You can't crash your guys on the end, because if you crash it, Jalen's going to read it, keep it, go around the edge 15 yards before anybody gets to him. So that extra guy and maybe that extra safety is not crashing, because they gotta remain cognizant that Jalen can pull the ball at any time. In week 16, when that threat went away, guess what? They couldn't run the football. And now they started, once they got the Eagles in second and third and long, they began to come at them with all these blitzes. And it was a lot for Kenny Pickett. You know, I think, if my memory serves me correct, I think he threw for 28 yards total in the second half. That's how much duress he was under. Then add to that, C.J. Gardner-Johnson gets tossed out of the game. And the defense goes to hell in a handbasket, because on the back end, because remember, the Commanders weren't running the ball on us. What they really made hay on us was Jaden Daniels scrambled for 81 yards in that game. And they threw the ball all over the map. Terry McLaurin got loose for a touchdown down the left side, I believe. And then you had, I think it was Jamison Crowder that caught the game winner. Okay, and even on that play, the secondary was in duress, because before the ball was even snapped, there was confusion. What C.J. Gardner-Johnson brings to this defense is he's a talker. He's always talking. It's part of what got him in trouble in the second game in week 16. But the fact that he talks means that there's communication going on. So there's no ambiguity about what's going on, what we're in, what the check's going to be, because he's always talking. I think he's the perfect match for Reed Blankenship on the back end. So when you lost him, you lost a lot too. Okay? Even at that, they had to come back to win that game, playing against, I think, two backup quarterbacks in that game. And they had to score a touchdown at the very end to win that game 36-33. So they just barely got by that, playing against two backup quarterbacks and us on defense without one of our preeminent players. Okay? Now, let's fast forward and let's go to Detroit. Huge upset win for them. Let's start with Tampa, okay? Same situation. Baker Mayfield doesn't fumble that ball. We're probably playing, Tampa Bay last week instead of the Rams, okay? But they go down to Tampa, they get the upset win, and then they go to Detroit for the divisional game. And it's a confluence of different things that occurs that helps them win this football game, okay? For one, the Lions got about 13 to 15 guys that are normal starters on that defense and significant role players on injured reserve. So you're playing against second and third team players on that defense, and they lost, I think, their slot corner in the first two series of the game to a broken arm, okay? Throw that together with the fact that Jared Goff decided, he was going to throw the ball to the other team 3 times. And then you understand why they posted 45 points on the number one team, the number one seed in the NFC playoffs this year, and get that upset. What I'm trying to tell you, if you put all that together, that ain't the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? The Philadelphia Eagles are going to have the full complement. Jalen Hurts is going to be up. And I know that there's an issue with his knee, but he's a warrior, and when it's time to go, he'll be ready to play, okay? We got C.J. Gardner-Johnson back up. And our defense has been playing lights out this whole second half of the season. Number 1 in overall yards. Number 1 against the pass. And number 8 against the run, only giving up 104 yards per game on the ground. Okay? I like our chances. And this is why I like our chances as well. Not only because of the things that I just, you know, told you, but I just feel like this defense is in a place right now where their confidence is just going to be soaring off the map. In the first game when they played the Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels was in bubble wrap. Okay, they didn't let him run all over the place and just cut it loose and do what he does. So the Eagles really didn't get the gist of how fast, how sudden, and how elusive this guy could be. Then we get him, and every player is that way. Okay, the first time I played against Barry Sanders, I was like, my God, because you watch it on film, but it's not the same when you got to reach out and touch him. You understand what I'm saying? When you get to experience it, it's on a whole different level. And I think that's what happened with the defense in week 16, because he's running all over the place. 81 yards. I mean, that's like 19 yards less than a full football field that he ran on our defense, converting third downs, picking up, massive yardage, keeping possessions alive, okay? So now that we've experienced the full experience that is Jaden Daniels, now that Vic Fangio has experienced the full experience of what Jaden Daniels is, I think that they're going to be ready for this football team because they have the ability to shut down the run. If they shut down the run, then you put the game completely in the quarterback's hands, and he's got to do it all. And now it's up to Vic Fangio to come up with how he's going to be able to control and keep Jaden Daniels in the pocket. My only worry is, will Quinyon Mitchell be 100%? Because I honestly believe that he can be the kryptonite for Terry McLaurin. That's the guy that scares me the most, because he can catch a ball and take it to the house right now like he did against Detroit, or he can beat you deep at any moment. Quinyon Mitchell, over 2 games, really had him on lock. So that's going to be a big. The other thing is, can we get pressure? Can we keep him in the pocket? Can we get him on the ground? Can we force him into bad decisions? Nobody's been able to do that because everyone's afraid to rush him. But there's a way you do it. You got to get push up the front, up the middle, which you're going to get from Jalen Carter. He's an absolute beast. And then your defensive ends, listen, I get it. You want to, for the most part, they want to speed rush. They want to get around the edge. But sometimes when you're playing against a quarterback like this, you just got to create the pocket on the edges and keep him close on the edges where he can't step through the end, the defensive end, and tackle gap. Got to have good lane integrity. Sometimes you just got to get up one step above him and stop, because if nobody's open, he's going to try to escape. But if you open the gate and open up the whole side by getting behind him, now you're asking for trouble. Because not only can he make plays with his legs, but he can also make plays with his arm on the run, and that's where these dual threat quarterbacks are most dangerous, okay? That being said, if we're full strength, Saquon's doing what he's doing, we're dominating the line of scrimmage, the defense is doing what they're doing, they're containing him, Quinyon Mitchell is healthy, and we play the way that we've been playing, is there really a doubt in y'all's mind that the Eagles are not going to find a way to win this game? I think some of y'all are like, now that you put it like that, Seth, yeah, that's why I'm so certain. All they got to do is show up and be who they've been all season long. If they do that, they're going to win this football game. And they're going to Super Bowl 59. There's not a single doubt about it in my mind. Okay? The only thing that can derail them is them. Jalen Hurts turning the ball over, or fumbles, or bad special teams play, lack of good coverage when we need it. That's something that absolutely destroyed us in week 16 as well. We couldn't kick the ball to the damn 10-yard line. And every time you look up, they were on our 45-yard line, starting off on the 40 to 45-yard line. You're not going to win that way. Jake Elliott kicked the damn ball out of the end zone. Do not put Braden Mann's ass out there again to do kickoffs, okay? Plain and simple. because you got to start off with great field position and make them earn 70 yards instead of you giving them an extra 20 and all they got to do is go 50. Doesn't make sense. The only thing that's going to hold this team back, in my opinion, is themselves. Mistakes, lack of preparation, which I don't see as a problem, and them not making the plays that are there to present themselves. Okay, I'll take it even a little further because the Eagles had an opportunity for about 3 interceptions last week, and I get it. It was cold, the ball was slick, but when that ball hits your hands and you got a chance to flip the field, you got to make those plays. You know, Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, 2 of the hugest plays in that game, back-to-back fumbles. Now, we didn't convert them to touchdowns, but guess what? We converted them to field goals, and they were huge plays. Huge plays. Huge plays in that game. But I'm supremely confident in our Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm excited for you guys as well as I'm excited myself, you know, that the Eagles get to host another NFC championship and potentially go on to the Super Bowl and win that and shut up some of our not only our local but our national haters. You know, Jalen Hurts said, I don't care what it looks like. I'm here to win. I don't care about numbers. I don't care about anything else. You know, if I throw for 1 yard and we win the game, isn't that what it's supposed to be about? It's supposed to be about us winning. It's supposed to be about this team doing whatever's necessary, by any means necessary, to win the football game. Everything else means nothing. And if they can do it the way that they're doing it right now, why do you even care? Why do you even care? Because next year will be a whole different year. Saquon Barkley's not going to rush for 2,005 yards again next year. Just ain't going to happen, okay? He may get close, but he's not going to have those kinds of numbers again next year. Next year may be a year where if Kellen Moore stays here, that the playbook expands for Jalen Hurts. He's got a greater understanding of it, a better digestion of it, better mastery of it. So now you can up his ability to throw the ball a little more. But the way that they're playing right now, their mindset is, hey, if we don't turn the ball over, we win. If we don't turn the ball over, and on defense we turn the ball over, we win. That's 16 turnovers, I believe it is. 16 turnovers in the last 5 games. I think I saw somewhere where the Eagles are now like plus 24, 25, something insane like that. Do you realize that this is the same team that was like -8 at one point in the season? And you guys want to know why I'm so confident that this football team can pull off what no one envisioned them doing even up until this point in the season's finale, the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm a big believer of it. You know, the other thing is, you know, I want to give some props to the offensive line because they've been just outstanding. I believe that all 5 of those guys could be all pros, Pro Bowls this year. No reason why Jordan Mailata for sure shouldn't be there, but you can't tell me, I mean, even when you watch Mekhi Becton, dude is just mauling people, just mauling them, you know? Another one of those guys, you know, that we brought in as an experiment, and look what Jeff Stoutland has done. I hope they re-sign him. I hope they can get him and Zach Bond re-signed. The other thing, Saquon is averaging, y'all, he is averaging 150 yards per game against the Washington Commanders. 150 yards per game. That's the other thing ain't nobody talking about. If they hadn't been able to stop him up until now, if they hadn't been able to stop him up until the second half of the second game, what makes you think with Jalen back and everything, all things being equal, that they're going to be able to stop him on Sunday? Come on now. Come on. You just saw he ran for 255 against the Rams and 2 touchdowns. Then they come here in an NFC divisional game, he runs for 205 and 2 touchdowns. If he's averaging 150 against the Commanders, what the hell you think he's gonna do against them when it really counts and the chips are down and he's revving at full speed? Come on now. Yeah, they're gonna fight. It ain't gonna be easy. But what do we do every game? We wear the opponents down. We grind them, and we grind them, and we grind them, and then bam, Saquon Barkley breaks one. And then we grind them, and then we grind them, and then bam, Jalen Hurts rips off one. And now we get them to start doing some things that they don't really want to do, and boom, you look up all of a sudden, Dallas Goedert or Devontae Smith running across the field, Scott-ass free. Come on, man. You guys are seeing this right there before you. But we sometimes I think that not only players, but I think fans can get to a place where they're so afraid of success that they won't even speak it. There is power in your words, people. That's why I say it. I've always been that way. I used to stand on the side like, hey, man, I'm about to go out here and make a play. We need to make something happen. Boom, interception, strip sack. And everybody be looking at me like, man, what did he know that we don't know? I didn't know what I was doing at the time. But what I do know is that that words are powerful creators. And if you want your team to be successful, give them the energy of your positive words. Not this, if, it could be, it might, they might stop Saquon. They ain't stopped Saquon all damn year. What do y'all think is going to happen on Sunday? They ain't going to stop him Sunday either. Nobody has. If is a dangerous word. It might be the most dangerous word in the English language, you know? If this happens, if that happens, no. If nothing. My intention is to always succeed in anything that I do. My mindset is to dominate in any and everything that I do. Because if my mindset is that way, then my words are going to be that way. And if my words are going to be that way, then my thoughts are going to be that way. And if my thoughts and my words and and everything, then my actions have to go right along with that. So I'm sending those vibes to this Philadelphia Eagles team. And we as fans need to do more of that than just showing up to the game on Sunday and cheering them on from home. We need to do that with our energy. Let's give them our positive energy. Okay? All right. Enough of life lessons, my motivational speaking right now. I want to thank you guys, for tuning in. It has been absolutely lights out the last couple of weeks. I got the Axeman coming up, but hey, do not forget to like, share, turn on your notifications, and subscribe to the Seth Joyner channel. Not only do we have our podcast going on here, but our pre and post game show is growing by leaps and bounds. Thank you all. Every Sunday you can tune in an hour and a half before kickoff. We're on for an hour, and then as soon as the clock goes 0:00, my man Derek Gunn and Mark Farzetta are just chopping up, what's going on, what just happened, what we saw with the Birds. Best pre and post game show in the city. So tune in to that. I'm going to take a quick break. When I get back, I got about a minute and a half. We're going to bring the Axeman on, linebacker to linebacker. We're going to chop this thing up, baby. All right? See you in a sec.
It's happening again. Those missed tackles are starting to stack up. Your friends pleading with players who can't hear them, sweating it out week after week. But not you. Why? Because whether they score or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx app. New casino users score up to $1,000 bonus back in their first 24 hours.
On game day, it's the Eagles' job to protect this house. But in here, this is our house. So we drank our pickle juice, then wrote the playbook on injury law. And created a winning culture that knows hungry dogs run faster. And we always bring the pressure. Because that's the standard. And we don't win until you win.
Oh. Oof. Stuck paying for that old phone? Don't be. At Verizon, we'll pay off your phone. And you'll get iPhone 16 with Apple Intelligence on us. Now with Genmoji. That's a value of up to $1,600. Only on Verizon.
Since 1893, Weber Display and Packaging has been Pennsylvania's leading manufacturer of corrugated packaging and displays. We're family owned with 4 Philadelphia locations, 2 converting facilities, a warehouse, and a fulfillment center. Designed through delivery, we exceed customer needs. Weber Display and Packaging. Our core values drive everything we do. Come join our team.
At Revolution X, we know that fortunes are made in times of uncertainty. Are you selling your investment real estate? Are you interested in deferring your tax with a 1031 exchange? At RevX, we're experts in 1031 exchange planning and the use of passive real estate options using DSTs. Not in the midst of an exchange and want to invest in real estate but don't know where to start? Revolution X has institutional grade real estate options for any size investor right now. Set up a consultation at RevXWealth.com. RevX, defer the tax, maximize the gain.
Welcome back, y'all. Listen, I know the commercials are a lot, baby, but, you know, we got to pay the bills. I appreciate you guys that hang in there with me, but we just got to do it sometimes. Let's bring in my alum brother. You guys know him as the Axeman, number 54. It's a Philly thing. You know what, man? Somebody need to get that saying right, man. It's not a Philly thing. It's a Philly thing, man.
There you go, Philly thing.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get some of those printed up, you know, for the proper way. Hey, listen, man, I appreciate you spending some time with me tonight. And the biggest thing is, man, I want to say, and I don't know that I had the opportunity to, but I want to congratulate you on your son, man. And I want to ask you, how does it feel when you're sitting in the stands watching him out there on the field, bro?
Man, it's a great feeling, man, when you can just sit back and you watch your son do something that he loves to do, lifelong dream of his. And, you know, from the start, from Pop Warner League, playing football at 5 years old, and just watching him fall in love with the game. And, you know, and it's not easy being the son of someone that had a lot of success in this city. So, you know, but, man, him and his brother, they took it all in stride, man, and just continue to work their butt off and prove to everybody that, you know, they know how to play the game, and fortunate enough to have the ability, and God kept him healthy. So, you know, it's a great feeling, man, just watching him just live out his dreams, you know.
Hey, listen, man, you know, last week Vic Fangio kind of threw us a head fake, man. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I'm like, man, how you going to tell the man, you know, the future might be right now, and you don't even put him in the game, man?
Man, you know what, man? Let me tell you something. You know, I really like Fangio, man. I told him when I met him, he reminded me a lot of Jim Johnson, just his demeanor, you know. But, you know, sometimes you get in the game and, you know, you get caught up in calling plays and locked in the game. And, you know, and like he said today, you know, the other guy was playing pretty good. So, you know, listen, Junior, he's a rookie. He got plenty of time. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get his time to shine. You know, I didn't play any in my rookie year. You know, so he's already ahead of me. I didn't even dress out for the first 9 games. You know, so I just told him, man, just stay ready, because you know how this game goes, right? You know, I'm sure Orton wasn't expecting to be playing right now, and you know, N'Kobe went down. Somebody had to step up. You know, they stepped up. He stepped up this past week. And Junior just got to be the same way. Just stay ready, because you never know when your number's called. And when your number's called, you got to be ready.
Hey, listen, man, we're going to get to the defense. We're going to get to the defense a little later. We'll get to the offense a little later. Let me say it like that. What Vic Fangio has been able to do in short order, man, this team was ranked 31st in total defense at the end of last year, man. How in the hell do you take 2 rookies, 2 new starters at linebacker, no veteran presence at defensive tackle, except for, you know, Milton Williams maybe, I think didn't him and Jordan Davis come in the same year?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
You got a bunch of young guys. You bring C.J. Gardner-Johnson back to Philly, and you take a team that was ranked, you know, in the lower half of the league through the first 4 weeks. By the time you get to the end of the season, they rank number 1. How the hell you do that, man?
Well, I knew last year they had a lot of talent on that defense. They wasn't playing up to their ability, right? But you bring in a guy with a vision, a guy with a plan, a guy who's been successful in this league before. You bring him in, and they struggled a little bit in the beginning of the season, but they started to gel. I think after that Tampa Bay game is really when they took off. They really started to play some good football, and you had some. It wasn't just Vic. Vic is he's the visionary behind the defense, but you had some guys that really come in and step up. Zach Baum, I think he's had an MVP type of year, right? The Kobe Dean is healthy he was healthy for the first time since he'd been a pro, right? No, I know he just got injured, but before that he was healthy. We already knew what Jalen Carter was, right? He just took his game to a whole nother level, right? We already knew what Sweat was, and we know Big Play Slate, right? You bring in two rookies who's having great seasons, right? And I think one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't talk about is C.J. Gardner Johnson. What he to me seemed like he's the spark plug for the defense. He's always talking, always yapping, always getting those guys going, keeping them fired up. He's not afraid to get in somebody's grill. He's not afraid to call somebody out. And you always need somebody like that, man, on the defense to hold guys accountable, hold himself accountable, and it's worked out over the course of the season.
So listen, I know you had great respect for Jim Johnson as I did.
Right.
I had great respect for Buddy Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to. It's so much bigger than just one coach. It's those guys that's behind the scenes that do the day-to-day stuff. Your position coach. So a guy like Clint Hurt on the defensive line, a guy like Roy Anderson coaching the DBs, a guy like Joe Casper coaching the safeties, a guy like Bobby King coaching the linebackers,
Right.
And of course, Vic Fangio, just getting it all done. Talk about how important it is. You can have that mastermind like a Jim Johnson or a Buddy Ryan or a Vic Fangio, but if you don't have those coaches that can take you as a player to another level with the little small details of playing the game, and I give those guys a lot of credit because these young players, in my opinion, they don't progress as fast and develop as fast as they have, Trot, without good coaches. And I feel like in the past, the Eagles draft picks and young players have suffered because of the lack of really good position coaches on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, listen, I mean, obviously, like I said earlier, Vic is the visionary behind this defense, right? And those coaches take his vision and implement it to those guys. But the day-to-day stuff, the technique-wise, where to fit, how to defeat blocks, practice planning, what drills you're going to do, what drills you're going to work on, those type of things. Those are all assistant coaches, man. And you got to take your hat off, like you said, to the job that they have done, taking two rookies, right? Zach coming in, first-time starter. Nakobe is not a first-time starter, but it's his first year in the defense, man. And just seeing the way he progressed over the course of the season. I think what's the other kid from Georgia that's having a really good season?
Oh, Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith, man. Just see him progress during the course of the year, right? Not getting a lot of snaps in the beginning. It's you have to take your hat off to the whole coaching staff, collectively.
All right, man. So let's jump over on the offensive side because I do want to leave some time to talk about them, as Hugh like to call them Commodores. A lot of talk about Jalen, man. A lot of doubt about Jalen. Obviously, Saquon Barkley is the talk of the Philadelphia Eagles this year. You can't talk about him without talking about that dominant offensive line. Mm-hmm. But give me your thoughts on Jalen, because you know what? This team is bucking the trend of what the NFL has been about over the last 10 to 15 years. It's a quarterback-driven league. You got to throw the ball in order to win, and they playing like it was back in the day when we played, Trot.
Well, it's not just this team. Kansas City played the same way. Buffalo played the same way. They all had similar numbers in this past weekend games. But Jalen, it seems like the only one that takes a lot of heat for not throwing for 300 yards, right? Bottom line is to win the game, and he's doing what it takes to win, right? He made some great throws. He was off on a couple of throws, which everybody are. No quarterback lead a game with any incompletion, right? But he's a threat in the running game, as you can see. Also, what happens when he broke that long run, and now when he run the zone read, that backside end can't just crash down and go tackle Saquon. Now he has to respect Jalen, which allows that run. Granted, we got the best line in the league. We got the best running back in the league. But if your quarterback is not a threat in the run, now you get an extra defender coming down, chasing that guy down on the backside. He can't do it with Jalen. He pulled it early. He didn't have to pull it again. You see what I'm saying? So he takes a lot of heat. I think he's doing what he needs to do to win the game, which is throwing when we need to throw, throwing when we need to throw, turning around and handing it off to the best running back and the best offensive line in the league, and then making plays as he needs to make them. And most important, he's not turning the football over.
See, Trot, I'm right there with you, man, because a lot of what you're hearing is a lot of the negativity that you hear about Jalen pretty much comes from the media.
Right.
Because if you're a true fan of Philadelphia, whether Jalen Hurts throws for 300 yards and you win the Super Bowl, or Jalen Hurts throws for 120 yards and Saquon rushed for 175 and you win the Super Bowl, you really gonna be upset as a fan?
Right.
All you want is that damn parade down Broad Street and up JFK to the art museum. That's all you want, right? So does it really matter how you get there?
Come to think about it, I think when we was in Super Bowl the last time, he threw for over 300 yards and lost the game. But that one turnover where they scooped and scored, killed us. So I don't care about yards. I just want to win the football game, So I think the kid from Buffalo, Josh Allen, threw for like 120 some yards, and he won the football game.
Jalen last game, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So nobody's talking about him, But listen, Jalen's type of guy. He seems like the type of guy that he don't listen to the outside noise. He's locked in on winning. That's all he want to focus on is winning. As long as he keep that mentality, block out the outside noise, so it really don't matter. Only thing what matters is what your coaches think about you, what your teammates think about you, and what you think about yourself.
It's funny that you say that because, in his post game press conference last week, he's like, I don't think you guys understand. He's like, I don't care nothing about anything else but winning.
Right.
Because if I throw for 1 yard, I'm fine just as long as we win the game. That's the objective. And I think in a lot of ways, we, as fans and as media sometimes, we kind of lose sight of what's important. Because, and now the thing is, oh, well, if that's his mentality, then it's Super Bowl or bust. Ain't it Super Bowl or bust every damn year?
Every year. That should be your mentality every year.
Yeah.
And we know going into the season, there's teams that definitely are not going to the Super Bowl. But their mentality should be Super Bowl or bust.
Let's talk about Nick Sirianni and his transformation. A coach who been under a lot of pressure, especially the early part of the year. You had the interaction with the fans, and then you had, him about to go at Jalen Carter on the sideline, and just the decision making in the Cleveland game where we almost lost that game because he wanted to go for everything. And, now he seems to be a lot more tempered. And he's a coach, in my opinion, who's done some growing. When you're hired as a head coach for the first time, there's a lot you have to learn. Right. And all these trends and all these data analytics, all this nonsense that they say that you should be doing, and you're trying to stay on the right side of the analytics people that are in the building at the same time. But he seems to me like he's kind of settled in a myriad of different ways as the head coach of this football team. And he doesn't get a whole lot of credit, for what he's been able to do, the amount of wins that he's put together over the last 4 years.
Listen, he definitely has the temperature of his team. I think he's understanding those guys. He understands what it takes to get those guys prepared and ready week in and week out. It's tough to go on a long winning streak. It's tough. I mean, it's tough to do. No matter who you're playing, no matter how you win, they found a way to win. Because last year, when they had a winning streak and they started going on that losing streak, they couldn't stop. They couldn't get things turned around, But now they're finding a way to win, and a big part of that we talked about earlier is the quarterback, his play, not turning the football over, playing great defense, and just finding a way to win. Kansas City been winning that way all year. They're not the Kansas City of old, where the Mahomes is out there passing 400 yards. He's doing like he did last week, 150, 170, not turning the football over. They're running the ball and they're playing good defense, right? So, yeah, he has a good temperature his team. He's managing those guys, and I really like his personality for this team, and especially for the city.
Yeah, the only thing about Kansas City, man, they got the refs in their back pocket, but I ain't gonna go there, Chuck.
Nah, go there. You ain't lying. No lies told.
Oh my gosh, man, it is like, I swear, man, it's getting to the point now where it looks like they ain't even trying to hide it, man.
They ain't, bro. It's blatant. I mean, and I love Andy Reid, man. I'm happy for that he's won Super Bowls, but it's getting ridiculous down there.
Well, what else? Let's talk about the fact that Saquon Barkley is averaging 150 yards per game against the Washington Commanders this year. I mean, everything he's done has been phenomenal. But I like to kind of talk about, the naysayers, and people are like, well, what if they shut Saquon down? What if Jalen has to throw the ball? I'm like, what game have you seen where they shut Saquon down this year? Maybe the Browns game. Other than that,
that's first thing. Plus, Browns have a really good defense, right? And you're going to have games where you struggle against the run a little more than others. But man, they keep talking about shutting Saquon down. It's not just Saquon. He got 5 offensive linemen and a tight end, sometimes 2 tight ends blocking for him. And the receivers doing a great job blocking downfield without getting holding calls. So it's not just him you got to shut down. There's 7, 8 guys on that side of the ball that has to beat their man in order to stop him. So, and I don't see it happening consistently. You may have a team that slow you down, but it seems like every time he touches the ball, he's a threat to break the big one.
No doubt about that. And to that point, I wanted to ask you, because I know you watched the game the way that I watched the game. We're wired to critically, and schematically watch the game.
Right.
And the thing I miss, because I'm doing my pre and post game stuff, is I don't have the ability to take the remote and rewind that bad boy so I can look at it again. I got to wait till the next day to get to all 22. But Jeff Stoutland amazes me, man, with some of these damn blocking schemes. I mean, I think about when I'm watching the game, I'm like, how the hell would I read that? You know what I'm saying? Because they will run the counter tray to the strong side or the counter Y, where the tackle will block back on the end and the Y off the ball will pull with the guard.
Right.
And then they'll turn around and line Saquon up to the side that they pull into, or Kenny Gainwell. They did it with Kenny Gainwell last week, where they pull him and they hand the ball off to Kenny going away from where the damn pullers are going. The defensive end is standing there like, what the hell's going on? And Kenny done ran around the end for 19 yards.
Right. So the way I've been able to teach my boys through high school and college, right? Because a lot of teams doing it. It's not just NFL. Most of these trends start at the college level. Then they make their way to the NFL. So when we played, you read the guards, you read the linemen, you're fine, right? Linemen going to take you to the football, because that's 9 times out of 10, that's where the play going. Now you can't just read the linemen. They can pull the backside guard and tackle to one side and still run the ball to where they just left, right? But you have to see the lineman, and you got to see through the backfield. So you got to see the whole picture. And if you have a guy that's not trained to consistently see those things, you're gonna be in trouble.
Well, listen, I say the same thing. I what I call it is broadening your vision.
There you go.
Because for me, whether there were times where I play off the ball, either in the under to the weak side and the wheel was off the ball, or over to the strong side and the Sam is off the ball. Then my reads are just like the middle backer. So I'm reading from the uncovered lineman to the backfield.
Right.
So now if you can't, and I I've worked with some guys before, and I tell them if you can't broaden your vision and see it all,
You're in
then
trouble.
you're gonna have problems.
You're in
You know,
trouble.
you're gonna have big time problems. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
The way I teach my boys is, okay, so who do you look at? Or if I teach a linebacker, who do you look at? I look at the guard. Nope. Center. Nope. Running back. Nope. Tackle. Nope. Quarterback. Nope. You got to see everybody. So you just can't stare at one guy. If you stare at one guy, you're going to miss the big picture. So you looking that way, but you seeing everything that moves. And it takes time to learn that, man. These offenses these days, man, they're complicated. That zone read, I'm glad we didn't have to play the zone read when we played, man. You know what I'm saying? With that quarterback pulling that thing and they got all these motion, the Y coming back, and you got to fall back with the Y. It's it can get complicated, but you know, guys are doing it. You just gotta have to train them. And like you said, that goes back to what you talked about earlier. The assistant coaches really working with the young guys, working with the linebackers, their reads, because Zach Bond, he's never played off the ball. This is his first time playing off the ball. At Wisconsin, he played on the edge. And you know as well as I know, those are two different positions. You know, the reads are different. And for him to come in and have the type of season he's had, you got to take your hat off to him. And you got to take your hat off to those assistant coaches, man, that are really helping them and training them what to see.
I tell you what, you know, you talk about that edge. I think that's one of the more complicated positions to play nowadays, especially with, you know, this RPO stuff and the read option stuff.
Right.
And, you know, the more and more I watch the game, Trot, I feel like, you know, you talk about all these offensive geniuses. And you know, just tell me if you see it this way or whether these guys are really that smart. Okay, they talk about all these offensive geniuses in football. And what I see is a breakdown in the integrity of the defense sometimes, and offensive coordinators taking advantage of it. Like think back about in your day. There's no way in hell they could have ran that jet sweep that they run all the time. Defensive end with a clothesline when them guys coming across. Because the minute he come across, we hollering motion. And all of a sudden. Yeah, but that's what I'm seeing.
It's tough seeing that motion when he's down, right? But a lot of these guys in today's game, they stand up. So anytime you see that motion, you should automatically widen out a little bit and take his head off. You do that a couple times, they'll start running it.
Is they run it, and so many teams run it with so much success, and it drives me crazy when I see it. The other thing is when you get play away in that backside defensive end, don't stay home. And here they come with a reverse or the quarterback on a naked boot. And I'm like, where are you going? Where are you running to? Your job is contained. So, and I've been on that end because I played outside linebacker on the edge.
Right.
The minute that I get play away, that tight end blocks away, the first thing I do is I look down the line. Is anything coming back? I can't go anywhere until I understand whether somebody's coming back or not. Because no matter, even if the player's away, I still got contained.
No matter
but these guys, they take off. They just take off running, man.
Seth, no matter how fast you are on that backside end, if they're running the other way outside, you're never going to make the play.
It's not your play.
You're not going to make the play.
So my thing is, why are you running all the way down there? And guess what? The other thing, I think the offensive coordinators are looking at these breakdown in the integrity of the defense, and they're game planning for that.
Right.
Like we know that guy, if we go away, we know he gonna follow, he gonna chase. Right. Okay. So let's find out, let's devise something where we can take advantage of that. The other thing is the guys on the edge playing wrong foot up. Like if I was coaching outside linebackers or edge guys, you can't line up on the left side and have your left foot up. Because you understand what I'm saying? See,
right.
Listen, man, this is why I love talking to players, because you know you understand it. The first step he has to take is with his inside foot.
Right.
That's the first step he has to take. It is anatomically impossible for him to step with his outside foot, with the inside foot back. So invariably guys lose contain.
Right.
Or when motion comes, they get hurt because they're always stepping in the bucket with that inside foot before they can get back outside, and they lose the edge.
Right.
And people talk about it. You hear the commentators talk about it all the time. Oh, they lost the edge. Oh, they lost the edge. They lose the edge because you've got the wrong damn foot up.
You got the wrong foot up, and when you have the outside foot up, right, and you take that step, you automatically lose. Your body's automatically cocked in, right? So, but it goes back to, again, the coaches, right? I think we're the number one defense because we haven't made those mistakes like that. Those guys have been consistent when they're where they're supposed to be. They had a couple of breakdowns last week, but when you get this deep into the season, everybody's good, right? Everybody's good. They're disciplined. Most teams don't beat themselves, so teams gonna get some plays on you. But I think this defense has been consistent over the course of the season. They're number one ranked for a reason.
Listen, I'll say this. I believe that, some of those things you got to get cleaned up, because I think when you play against a guy like Andy, I think he is a master at devising plays and scheming against your weaknesses. Sean McVay normally does a good job of that. But my biggest issue with those guys, that play wrong foot up, especially when you playing on the tight end side and you in 12 personnel, one back, two tight ends, and they motion the other back. By the time you step down at that other tight end and they hook you with the other guy and knock you back in, there's no recovering from that. There's no getting back out there, to get on the edge. And if I'm an offensive coordinator, okay, some of these guys that are real good rush guys that you worried about, affecting your quarterback, I go 12 personnel and put the other tight end in I back in the fullback position, because what do teams like to do? That rush guy, they want to put him on the weak side. And some of these teams, they travel strong and weak. Usually the bigger defensive end is on the strong side, and then the edge rusher, they try to get him on the weak side every single time. But I would go two tight ends, 12 personnel, one, the X or the Y on the line, the U in the fullback position, okay? I would shift the U up to go 2 by 2 and get that tight end over there on that weak side edge rusher. And then I put the X on and the Y off and motion him across and wear his ass out with two tight ends running at him all day long.
Listen, hey, you're gonna get some double teams. If I'm a defensive end, I'd much rather have two tight ends double teaming me than a tight end and a tackle. So,
Absolutely.
he got to widen out, continue to set that edge, and you got to have linebackers play downhill in those situations. And then you make adjustments during the course of the game, man. This game is all about adjustments, in-game adjustments. If they get you once, don't make an adjustment on sideline and don't let it happen again, And like I said, I take my hat off to not just the defense, the team as a whole, right? Coming back from last year, I mean, they went on what, 7-8 game losing streak, and it's 7. It's hard to get that momentum back once you lose it, right? But they came in this year, little rocky start, and I expected a rocky start because you got two new coordinators, but they played through all that, and they just kept. You just see them. They continue to keep getting better as the year went along, and they're playing. They're healthy. I know Quinn Young went down, and we lost N'Kobe, but they're playing really good football at the right time. Dominating football.
I should have had you on for the whole hour, but anyway, I'm gonna give you the last thought. What I want you to do is give me your thoughts on the game. Give me your keys offensively and defensively to the Eagles winning this NFC Championship and going to Super Bowl 59.
Offensively, do what you've been doing. Run the football. Hurts has to continue to take care of the football, hand the ball off, put some design runs in there for Hurts, throw the football. When they give you something deep, you take it, right? Because you got some dynamic receivers on the edge. You take what the defense give you. So that's the offense. Defensively is just continue what you've been doing. Don't give up the big plays. Hopefully we'll get Quinn Young back this week. because we gave him some deep shots that we typically don't give up, right? So hopefully we get him back. If they can cut down on those, I think they'll be fine. Now the quarterback is dynamic, right? There's going to be times where you cover everybody, and then he's going to make plays with his legs. So you just have to rally to the football, try to keep him in front of you, run some twist up front. Don't just run past him. Sometimes the defense line going to have to, if they feel themselves getting up 2-4 field, reverse field, because he will take off, and he's dynamic in the open field. And the linebacker is going to rally to the football, and he's going to make some plays, right? But you just have to continue to just do your job, and eventually you'll make more plays than they do. And definitely, I got the Eagles winning.
Oh, for sure. Listen, man, I appreciate your time, brother. It's always good to talk ball with an ex-backer, man.
Appreciate it, man.
It's been fun.
Thanks for
next
having
time I give you the whole hour, man, so we can really dig in. But it's been great talking to you, man. Congrats again on your son, man, and the best to you, my brother.
Thank you very much. All right, bro.
Looking forward to the offseason, man. Oh, you clicked him out, or he clicked himself out? Looking forward to the offseason, man. We can get out on the golf course, bro.
No doubt, man. I've been out of the country a lot, so I've been working on my game.
As soon as this season's over, I'm going back to Arizona so I can work on mine.
All right, man.
Hey, listen, man.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. 48, man. That's crazy, right?
Hey, man. Hey, I got 12 on you. Don't worry about it. Just keep living. You'll catch up. All right, bro.
All right. Take it easy.
Take care, man. All right, y'all. That's the show for tonight. Tune in next week. We're going to be talking about our Birds going to the Super Bowl after Sunday night's matchup. All right. As usual, hey, you guys take care of each other and be good to each other. But most important, make sure that you love each other. The world needs a lot more of that these days. I'll see you right back here next week, same place, same time. You know what? On the other hand, I think just a heads up, I'll post something so you guys know. I may take a break next week and come back on the 4th leading into the game. I may go home to Arizona, get me a little bit of warmth. It is cold here in Philly. All right? Peace, Philly. Love y'all.
Most people don't know how to get the care they need. The experts at Stay at Home Care can help. Before choosing a caregiver or family member for your care, you need to apply for the Home Care Program. The application process can be complicated. Stay at Home Care can help you navigate through every step. Once approved, your caregiver or family member will receive guaranteed weekly pay, a variety of medical benefits options, paid holidays, paid vacation, and overtime pay. Call Stay at Home Care, here to help every step of the way.
Get peace of mind, drive certified at DavisCertified.com.
How do you make sure your next vehicle purchase is a quality vehicle priced right? Go to DavisCertified.com.
Every Davis certified pre-owned vehicle has a 60-day, 2,000-mile powertrain warranty, plus 2 years of free oil changes, a 3-day exchange policy, and a free Carfax report.
Get peace of mind, drive certified at DavisCertified.com.
Gentlemen, are you ready for a wardrobe update? Introducing Divine Nine's Custom Menswear, your clothier for truly unique, custom-made threads. With Divine Nine, you can design your own one-of-a-kind suit, jacket, slacks, shirts, golf pants, and shorts, perfectly handcrafted by our skilled artisans who will bring your vision to life. Prepare to stand out from the crowd with Divine Nine's Custom Clothier, official clothier of Seth Joyner. Custom clothing made for you.
Pride, passion, and persistence. These are the values that drive us all at Ron Jaworski Golf. We strive to deliver outstanding conditions as well as playability for golfers of all ages and abilities. Our championship golf courses offer a variety of challenges from a link-style walk along the river to an escape into the pines and everything in between. My team at Ron Jaworski Golf is committed to delivering memorable experiences every single day. See all we do at ronjaworskigolf.com.
This is Parks. This is how you roll. This is how it goes. This is how you pop. This is how you rock. Take a chance, do a dance, little romance. This is how you. This is how you excite. This is how you all night. 360 hit me. Now we're going all in. I can feel it calling. The crowd, the light, the night, the sights, the vibe is right. This is how you. This is Parks, Pennsylvania's #1 casino experience. This is how you win.